big play defense. Fast-paced and quick strike offense. The other units, special as needed. Adds up to a conference road victory against a ranked opponent to start the season. Up next, home opener against the defending MAC champs. We discuss the game plan next. It's time for Nittany Game Week. Well, welcome into Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski alongside Jay Paterno and Tom Bradley. Always nice to start with a win. Even better when it's on the road against a conference opponent that happens to be ranked 12th in the country. Guys, your impressions of the victory, and then I want you to tell us what those kind of travel days are like after a big W to start the season.
Well, let me tell you, I heard from some people, it was kind of an ugly win. Wins are like babies. No matter how ugly they are, somebody loves them. And, it's a win, and you got to be happy. And it was a gutty performance.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Everybody always says, Winston Churchill says there's different kinds of lies. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. Does it matter? They got the W. That's all that matters. You're gonna put in all this, time of possession, this, that. Hey, did you come home with the win? That's all that matters.
And you're on the record. You like to start on the road.
And I like to start on the road, especially with a big win over a pretty good football team.
That gets them some mo, that is for sure. And it's great to see a full roster available in front of a packed house. First game always creates questions, but it also provides some answers, and that's where we begin our opening drive. So how fast will the offense operate? How aggressive will the defense be to put pressure on the quarterback? How improved is the secondary? All legit questions, and the 60 minutes in Madison clear the windshield so we can see how the 2021 Nittany Lions want to play moving forward. Plenty of things you can point to that helps in the victory. Coach Franklin, crystal clear the Nittany Lions want to win the turnover battles. They had 3 critical takeaways against the Badgers and have more explosive plays. They definitely took their shots downfield with Jahan Dotson and Keandre Lambert-Smith. Had some other one-on-one balls thrown up to make something happen. Coach says winning those 2 categories translates to unequivocal success. A lot of people concerned about time of possession because the offense moves so fast, even when it's clicking. The players say, no worries.
No, it's different, man. It definitely is different. I wasn't used to it today, being on the field so much. I told a couple of the guys, we're going to have to do a lot more cardio this year because, Wisconsin is a team who doesn't run hurry up. So when we play a team who runs hurry up, it definitely is going to be different. But you just got to do your cardio, man.
Yeah, a lot of cardio for the D. Sounds like both defenses in a game with Penn State may be out of breath, guys.
Well, the thing about Wisconsin is they take their time between plays. So that runs the clock a little more. If they get some teams that play huddle up, it's going to be a lot more pace to it, and they're going to need to really be in shape.
Yeah, it's just a different style of game. That's why you got to deal with Wisconsin. I mean, they led the country last year. It's nothing new. They averaged 36 minutes a game of possession, and this time they got up to 42. But once again, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's the final score that counts.
It doesn't always translate the points. They had issues with that last year. Up next, a very capable opponent in the home opener, Ball State, defending MAC champs. Tons of returning starters and a roster chock full of a relatively new term.
You're talking about 21 starters returning with 16 super seniors. I think that's the 4th most in the country. 16 super seniors coming back from a MAC championship team. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
Yeah, 21 starters returning means experience. 16 super seniors means experience and wisdom when it comes to college football, guys. 6-year guys. They know the program really well.
6-year guys, and when you look at the guys that are playing, there's 425 combined starts with these guys. That means the average guy lineup has started almost 20 games. That's a lot of experience. And again, this team has won 8 games in a row and beaten 2 ranked teams in that stretch.
Yeah, they've played on the road at some tough places. They've been to Indiana. They've been to Notre Dame. They've been a couple places where the crowds get pretty hostile.
They're piping in that crowd noise like it was Notre Dame to try and get ready. No matter who you play in a close game, you want the offense on the field to finish if you have the opportunity. After Jaquan Brisker's interception, the offense needed to decide how to play the final minutes. Here's how it plays out. Wisconsin has 2 timeouts, a little over 2 minutes to go. First down run. It burns a TO for the Badgers. Second down rollout, safe pass to Noah Cain. He does a nice job to make sure he catches it and does not go out of bounds. Then on 3rd and long, a real decision to make. They burn the clock, hoping for a first down run and boot it back to the Badgers. Jay, these are tough situations. What kind of approach do you like in this kind of situation? Because this is a tough one.
Well, let me tell you, the guy sitting next to me late in the game would say, run the clock, get the timeouts. And Wisconsin did him a favor. On the 4th down, they took a timeout when really they could have kicked the field goal and had 3 timeouts left to burn it. So, I mean, you've got to get those first downs. And, the pass was, trying to do something different, but you got to get some yards. You got to pass for a gain of nothing.
And low-scoring games. So they admit it. Look, I think they wanted it in the defense's hands for this particular thing, and you have to, Tom, look at how the game is playing out to
Tom
make
would
those
have been
calls.
screaming at me. You guys, we don't want to go back on the field. You're killing me right now.
Could you get a first down, please?
Yes.
Let's do the best play in football. Take a knee. That's the best play in football.
Now for our first scrap medal, based on an actual game, it goes to a new guy who makes an impact right away. Temple transfer Arnold Ebiketie introduces himself to Wisconsin, Penn State fans, and to the entire Big Ten.
My dad always tells me sometimes you gotta, whenever you make plays early, it kind of helps you settle down into the game. Now I feel like you get the bigger picture. You're able to see everything, and everything slows down. So that's exactly what happened today.
So that's a long way. He was born in West Africa. Over here, first game at Penn State, 7 tackles, 1 sack, great block kick, which hasn't been talked about a lot. That changed a lot of things too. Those 3 points off the board made a big difference how that game came to a close there. But he just had a great day, a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and you got to give him for the starting first time with the Lions. Pretty good day.
Scouting Report is sponsored by Penn State Health, giving you the care you want, where you want it. Visit PennStateHealth.org to find a provider near you.
We are back on the Nittany Game week. Now for the reason Scrap said, sure, I'll do a television show with you fellas. The Scouting Report. They go into a film room and you're not sure when they're going to come out. All right, coaches, what kind of action can we expect from the defending conference champs?
Anyone who thinks they can go to Beaver Stadium Saturday and just kind of rest easy, this is not going to be this is a really, really good football team. We're going to get into why and some of the things to look for. And let's start with the offense. Tom, I'll send it over to you, but their stretch play is their base run play. Talk a little about what they're expecting here, what people can look for.
What this does, this is a good play. The game he put that tailback is right off the backside of that tackle over there where he wants to start his approach. It's a good play, especially versus a lot of teams that like the zone blitzing, a lot of movement and slants and angles and things of that nature. And then he just finds a hole and has to have good vision to make a cutback.
Yeah, and as you watch the video, just keep your eye on that tailback, where he's headed, and he puts that foot in the ground and cuts underneath. So even though it's an outside play, a lot of times it comes underneath. Now, they're wideouts. They like to get them involved. There's no question about it. And the jet sweep is something we're going to talk about here on our next screen. The jet sweep where they bring that wideout in motion and get them outside. Tom, you were talking about a point to look for the defensive
ends. One of
ends.
the points to look for is the defensive. If that defensive end has his hand on the ground, they're not going to touch him. They're going to run right around him. This is not a good play if you're a stand-up defensive end. You'll kill it. Yeah. But with that guy's hand on the ground, he doesn't even see the jet coming. It's around him. They don't even block the guy.
And to keep that jet sweep good, the next thing we'll show you is a play-action pass. Now they're going to fake, you'll see in the video, they're going to fake that jet sweep. The quarterback's going to fake the run and then come out and throw the ball down the field.
Well, this is the one thing you got to make sure you have good eyes. You talk about good eyes all the time with your linebackers, making sure you're watching what you're supposed to be watching and keying what you're supposed to be, or this play can cause you a lot of problems.
And this quarterback's really good. He started 26 games. One of the things they like is the back shoulder throw. People talk about the back shoulder throw all the time. They get 3-by-1, so they're one-on-one backside. You coach DBs.
Oh. I've seen a lot of back shoulders in my day. But I tell you what, the time in here, they are very good at this throw. It's something on Saturday. If they get close, they're going to it.
Yeah, there's a big red zone play for them as well. And they're very capable. We'll talk about the wideouts as well when we get to the end. Now, let's talk about their defense, and I'll talk a little about what they're doing. Their base defense, when you look at this, they're going to see 2 safeties high when they start their defense. But because those safeties are deep, they're going to talk you into running the ball, and they're going to come downhill in a hurry. Take a look on this one. You're going to see right off the bat, when you see on the video, when that ball's handed off, that front side safety is right there. They do block them, but there's other people coming downhill. So they want to do a good job stopping that run. They've given up a lot of yards in the pass game because they overcommit to the run a little bit. And so that's going to be something for Penn Staters to look for, because Penn State have trouble running the football. Now, when you get to 3rd down, let's talk about what they do in their nickel. Now they bring in 2 speed rushers. They have 2 safeties high, and now they have 2 DBs in the slot to help on the inside receiver. Tom, you talk about the double the star
Yeah,
guy.
you know, a lot of times I anticipate against Penn State with their good wide receivers, they'll get into double the stars. And those safeties and who's ever on those guys, those good, great players at Penn State on the outside, they're going to double those guys and try to take them out of the game.
Yeah, so if you see Dots in the slot, you're probably going to see both those guys doubling him on him. And then last but not least, we talked about situations for Penn State. Short yardage 0 for 2. When you look at Ball State up front, they're going to come off the edge in short yardage and make it very difficult. And we can take a look at the video here. Here's the safety walked right up. It's 3rd down and 1, San Jose State, and they're getting penetration, bringing guys off the edge because they want to force you into, they want to obviously get off the field.
It's just a smoke game coming off both edges and man-to-man coverage behind it, straight zero coverage.
Yep. Todd, back over to you.
Wow, good stuff. And I know it scratches the coaching itch. We ran into a couple of other guys watching college football and Penn State closely, former Nittany Lions, now NFL standouts Allen Robinson and Adrian Amos. They had some feedback for their former position groups.
Just a big playability. I think they're both versatile, can do a lot of things, especially with Jahan, because he plays special teams too. So being able to get some plays, on 1st, 2nd down, 3rd down, and then 4th down, even when you're getting the ball back, So, what I'm saying? He gives them a lot of versatility.
Athleticism in this secondary is, it's top notch. They have a lot of guys that can run, a lot of big guys, a lot of guys that can tackle. I like what I see from them.
Yeah, Adrian knows a thing or two about tackling. He was a Pro Bowl alternate last year with 87 tackles for Green Bay. Appreciate those guys taking time to talk with our Andrew Callista. Time for a few plays left on the Nittany Game week. The tradition is back in Wisconsin, end of the 3rd quarter. Student section goes nuts and jumps around. And they're not the only ones. One of the big contributors to our show, Andrew Callista, sets the camera down and carves out some space for himself near the students to join in. Here he is. Never one to miss out on a tradition in college football. Our guy, Andrew Callista, all smiles as he jumps around, even had enough energy left to shoot the 4th quarter and do some reports post-game for us. Wouldn't you know it, Callista made the national broadcast as well in the background. I guess it was his time to shine.
I don't know if you call that shining or not, but we'll take it. Hey, one of the things we're going to do before we leave, we're going to give you some names and numbers that we want that you should pay attention to for Penn State's opponent, Ball State, this week. When you look at some of these guys, Justin Hall, the wide receiver, Tom and I have talked about him after watching him on tape. He's an outstanding football player. Tom, you had some career numbers on him.
267 career catches isn't bad.
Yeah, 4,100 yards career. I mean, he's going to get the ball 10 to 12 times a game. Yo Hines Tyler, in the age of NIL, Hines Ketchup, a guy who's a catcher/receiver with the name Yo Hines. Drew Plitt, the quarterback we talked about earlier in the scouting report. On defense, Brandon Martin, a linebacker, is a guy to look for, defensive end number 0, as well as the safety, Bryce Cosby makes a lot of plays for them as well. So keep an eye on these guys Saturday.
Here's the other interesting I find is Mike New, of course, the head coach of Ball State, is a former quarterback. And at one time for 2 years, he coached a guy named Drew Brees for the Saints. So this is an offense that's going to be very interesting to defend against with a lot of pro things mixed in there.
And as we established, 16 super seniors, 6-year guys, a lot of experience and wisdom. Can't wait for the 3:30 p.m. kickoff. Make sure you check out NittanyGameWeek.com. Don't miss our depth chart, which includes these local businesses supporting the program. Now, the goal is to build a team or affiliate businesses that support the show and that you, in turn, support as a viewer to keep the hometown strong. If you haven't noticed yet, we have a lot to share with you when it comes to college football, and it doesn't all fit in a nice, tidy 30-minute window. You can enjoy our web-exclusive content on the website. We finish with some pride picks, so show us your spirit. For Jay and Tom, I'm Todd. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. We'll see you next time.